my channel and I'm Divya Saravanan right back in front of you. So how have you guys been doing? I hope you guys have been doing terrifically well. So it's just me who went missing in action for the past 2 weeks. Many of you guys had been asking me where I went, but the important thing is I'm back in front of the camera, normal setup and everything, and happy Saturday. To be honest, SPM is a nightmare. A real life horror story that nobody wants to go through in their entire life. But I went through last year. I took 9 freaking subjects, which is English, BM, Maths, AdMaths, Physics, Chemistry, Bio, Sejarah and Moral. And 9 freaking subjects, it was never easy. Because you, one person, want to memorize 9 different textbooks is, I tell you, it's a hell life. But I went through last year and I got my results this year, and this video was a highly requested video. I have no idea why. I think because you guys want to know my results, right? I never get straight A's one lah. I'm not that smart. I only got like 6 A's, where 2 of it was A+, English and Sejarah, and then 3 solid A's, which is for Maths, Bio, and one more Moral, and 1 A- for BM, and then 2 near miss and AdMaths. You wouldn't want to know what the hell I got, but I passed. I hate AdMaths, but I passed. As for today's video, I'll be telling you guys the true story behind my SPM journey. It was never easy. It was a heck of a ride. It started during Form 4 and it ended during Form 5. If I'm not mistaken, it was 5 December. And it started all over again on the 22nd of January till now. Like, when I first entered Form 4, I did not go to the class that my friends were in. They were in 4 Science 1. I entered 4 Science 2 because I flopped in my PT3 as well. I missed by like 1 subject, and then like I entered 4 Science 2, and it was a freaking nightmare because I did not have my best friends there, and I had to I have to mix with new group of friends all over again. And like I finally found a freaking angel in that class who's my best friend till today, who talks to me hours and hours on the phone. If you're watching this video, it's you, like you, but I'm not gonna mention her name. And then like moving on to Form 5, I finally got into the same class as my best friend, and we had so much of fun. Trust me, until trials I wasn't scared that SPM is like in a few more months. I was having so much fun that I forgot to study. I'm not even kidding. Like, even though I get the results, right, even during exam time I will study like maybe 1 day before the exam. I'll study like die like that, but then I never put in that much of effort. But the marks I get also not that bad, but then like, you know, SPM, we still got a long way to go. So like I did not focus until it was SPM, and then until I got into my trials. And my AdMaths result was poof. That was when I was at the verge of giving up in AdMaths. And then moving on to SPM, I swear to God, I have no idea how many of you guys have been through this feeling before, that like when you sleep, right, you middle of the night you can actually wake up feeling scared, thinking that you have this much more to study. Because during Form 5 I was like super stressed up. During trials I was a bit stressed, but not as stressed as how I was during SPM. Because trials time I still remember like I couldn't sleep, because I sleep like at 2 AM in the morning after studying, and I'll set alarm to wake up at 5 AM again to like get up and study again. So like I'll be super sleepy. When I go to the room, I open any book, I'll be like, oh my god, I have to read this all over again and again, because like my mind cannot keep that thing for a very long time. If I memorize means I tend to forget for the next exam. That is why I always complain to my mom, like UF1 I can memorize this much of things, and like 1 week, you know, usually after exams you will get holiday, right, and you wouldn't study during their holiday. Who would even study? So like the 1 week gap that I tend to forget everything. And you know, Sejarah is the biggest nightmare anybody would ever want to face, because like you memorize that much, and then because Sejarah you study 1 week before the exam, and then like the first subject, usually government school, the first exam would be BM. So you study BM like 2 days before the exam. So like you study Sejarah and then you prepare for your BM. Once you memorize Komsas for your BM, I swear to God, Sejarah you will forget. For me lah, I confirm will forget one. That was what happened to me during my SPM. It was because SPM during the Deepavali period, right? Everybody was having fun and I was busy memorizing Sejarah. So like there was holidays in between. So like Sejarah I studied already, and then like I finished Form 4 and then I entered Form 5. I swear to God, Form 5 their chapters I cannot. Rancangan pertama, rancangan kedua, I'm like, Why? How much more you need to memorize? You already memorize so much for Form 4. Form 4 chapters, the Sejarah is like very ancient kind, like those old story. And like the Form 5 one is like the recent one, because like Mahathir will come in, and the before one, the Tunku Abdul Rahman, Tunku Abdul Razak stories all will come in. So like I cannot memorize Form 5. 1 year in like SPM, the Form 5 one has been like a heck of a ride, because I did not eat that much, but I put on weight a lot, because like, I started eating chocolate a lot, especially when I do max and NMAX. I eat chocolate all the freaking time, and I became an elephant during Form 5. And then like I also don't eat during recess time, because like I feel like I rather stay in the library and study. But when you are with your friends, you cannot study in the library, right? You will start talking. So like towards SPM, I started getting panic attack even more and more, and like at the verge of like I cannot control it. So like I had to tell my friends that but I wanted to know whether other people actually faces this or not, and she told me the exact same thing, that she also has this problem where she gets panic attack like in the middle of the night. When you cannot even watch a movie after coming back from school. You don't want to like straight away study, right? Because you want to like relax your mind for a while. But when you calculate the days like left for your exam, like it's like in 2 more weeks time, you actually get the fear within yourself, like you have to study, because like your parents' expectations, your teachers' expectations, and like plus your friends who will get better marks than you have to like maintain that level in your school, especially in the class. You don't want to get the last number in the class, so you have to study. So I was like that last year. I had to like study so much, and like I wasn't like the top student in my school, but I did kind of okay. So like it was hard for me. So that was my true story about my SPM journey. It was very hard for me to like go through those like that 1 year, and I'm pretty happy that I actually made through it without any self-damage, brain damage, any damage. So now I'm currently doing like foundations, and it's even worse than what I've ever imagined. And I'm gonna share some tips with you guys on how I studied for my SPM. If it works for you guys, I'm happy. If it doesn't work well for you guys, you can find like some other methods, because everybody don't get along with the same method, right? So I have books all around me now, arranged according to their subjects. So let's get into today's tips. So to start off, we will get on with BM first. So basically I have this buku rampayan, and I have this file with me. So basically BM, you have to memorize the Komsas. So for me, right, usually Komsas question, they will give you like the petikan, and then maybe saja or the cerpen will come out, or maybe sometimes the what they call that, prosa, traditional prosa, modern, I don't know lah. And Kertala Sari, that alat sulit thing, oh my god, I still remember all of this. I cannot lah. Yeah, so how I memorize for Komsas is like I memorize only for novel. I memorize the one that links to each other. So like imagine during Form 4, we had that, what story was that? Farisha, Kal, that story. So you can actually memorize those kasih sayang, because like the kasih sayang of Farisha towards the parents, and like what's the boy's name? Farisha's elder brother's love towards Farisha. So you must find the thing that actually links to each other, because if you memorize the total opposite one, then it's like too many for you to memorize. You memorize 3. So like 3, what is that they call that?
2,000 years later.
Oh, so you have to memorize the 3 persoalan, 3 nilai, 3 pengajaran. You memorize the one that actually links to each other. So you can memorize maybe kasih sayang and another 2 more, and you link that thing. Persoalan you can write, just add the word persoalan kasih sayang terhadap something like that. You arrange the words. And nilai murni, you can just put that kasih sayang. Pengajaran kita mestilah something. And then for karangan, I usually read the notes that I actually got. One of the person, my friend, he gave me these notes. He finished his SPM, and then like he gave me the paper of like the bombastic kind of words. Depends on your teacher, because some teacher likes bombastic words, some teacher doesn't. So my teacher is kinda okay if we use bombastic words. So like I will use the same introduction and conclusion for every single essay that I write. And then moving on to English, so I have these 3 particular lifesavers in my life. First of all, I have these 2 red color files. This one is from Form 4, this one is Form 4, this one is Form 5. So like usually my Form 4 teachers will give us the notes for like the, what they call that, literature. So literature, there's nothing much for you guys to read, because like if you're good in English already, I know you guys don't study for English and you study one day before the English test, I know, I understand, but you have to know like the literature, the novels and stuff. Also there's one formula for the novel, it's called Cobra if I'm not mistaken. You just memorize the important events in the novel, like Mr. Clay, all of that. You just memorize everything. Whatever question comes out, you can actually relate that event to that particular question. So it's very easy if you remember the Cobra. I have no idea how Cobra works, I totally forgot already. And then moving on to essay, my teachers usually give us the, you know, the bombastic kind of words, the very interesting kind of phrases. I memorized the phrases like his heart thundered skipping a few beats, like typical Cinderella of the 20th century. That's how I use in my English essay. So I memorize, not to say memorize, I read, and like whatever comes to my mind on that day I will write. And then I will read the sample questions about the novels, like is it important to have good family ties, and they will give you the examples. So you just memorize the important events and you can actually relate to everything. And then this is the one that I got from the Benkil, and basically I did not use this thing. So that is it. I can actually tell for English, you just have to memorize those bombastic words or just read the bombastic words and do quite a number of exercises, or read the past year book. There's answer sheet at the back, right? So just go through it and memorize the format for like, cause there's two different essays for English, right? The part A and part B. Part A is the one that the format one. So if you get the article or stuff, you must know how to write according to their format. If I'm not mistaken, about 1 or 2 marks, I guess. I'm not sure. So just write according to your wheels. Whole file is filled with all those bombastic kind of words, essay. My friend's essay who actually scored full marks, if I'm not mistaken, I have no idea, 50 out of 50 I think. All those papers are here. So that is how I study for my English. Basically just read these 3 files one day before the exam. Moving on to my favorite subject, Maths, which I've always gotten an A+ for Maths, but I did not get an A+ during SPM because like I flopped in my paper 1. I did not have enough time to settle my paper 1 questions, so I did not recheck, and like I think I flopped a little there, and that was why I moved to like solid A only. So this is the book. This is a very very good book. Is it focusing? Hold on. Okay, so this is the brand. It's called Neelam. So you go and buy this book if your teachers don't use it anymore. You guys should get this book because it's actually an activity book. The school asked us to buy this book to do activities, and this is the answer sheet. I have no idea where I got it from. I think it's my friend's one, which I haven't written yet. And because my answer sheet, my teacher asked me to koya and submit to her. So like you see, there's no answer sheet here. And then this book is really very good because like they give you complete notes about what you should know and what you shouldn't know, and like it's a very good book. I have another version of this like in Form 5 if I'm not mistaken. What color is the book? I have no idea. There's also NMAX in this book. NMAX one Form 5 is the pink color one. So like this book, I always read like one day before the exam. Usually before Max we have BM, right? So like that night only I'll come back home and I'll read, and it's kind of easy to read the notes from this book. Just do more questions from your past year book, the purple one. I don't know this year is what color, but then just do more questions from there, and trust me, you can score well in your Max. All you have to do is just read this book and do more exercises and you'll be fine. So that is it. I gave all those tips, study methods, everything, spilled tea about myself, the true journey behind my SPM. I told every single thing I can, and I hope this thing actually helped you a bit. I told subject by subject because if you guys watch this tutorial on how to study, people tell you do timetable, do this, do that. So I did something different. I did subject by subject, helped you. And if you guys want any notes, you guys can always hit me up. I can give you a copy of it because basically my brother will be taking over all these books after this because he's in Form 4 right now, and by the time he he's in Form 3 right now. So in like 2 years time, basically the study method will change and he will more or less have to use my notes as well, the BM, especially English. If you guys want, just hit me up. I can like do a photocopy for you and give it to you. Till then, thank you so much for watching today's Happy Saturdays video. I hope it helped. If it didn't, I'm very sorry. Find some other way, watch some other videos, and you guys have to like keep the spirit going. If you have your SPM this year, all the very best. SPM is just till then, you can make a difference. Bye.